And Sue Smith, our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol is here, as well as Manchester United part company with Erik ten Hag, with the club 14th in the Premier League after an underwhelming start to the season. Let's just remind you of the club statement from Manchester United, released just a few minutes ago. It says Erik ten Hag has left his role as Manchester United men's first team manager. Erik was appointed in April 2022 and led the club to 2 domestic trophies, winning the Carabao Cup in 2023 and the FA Cup in 2024. We are grateful to Erik for everything he's done during his time with us and wish him well for the future. Ruud van Nistelrooy will take charge of the team as interim head coach, supported by the current coaching team, whilst a permanent head coach is recruited. So, Kaveh, 12 points behind leaders Manchester City at the very early stages of this Premier League season, having finished 8th last season, 31 points off the pace. Is it any surprise that Manchester United have acted now?
Not at all. I think Erik ten Hag has been a dead man walking for quite a long time. Everyone knows that Manchester United were talking to other managers in the summer. When they couldn't do a deal with another manager, they decided to stick with Erik ten Hag and trigger the 1-year extension in his contract. They backed him in the transfer market again in the summer, but results and performances simply haven't been good enough this season. I can give you a sort of insight into Manchester United's thinking. The decision to part company with Erik ten Hag was a collective decision, but a unanimous decision. That means everybody in senior roles at the club agreed that this was the right time to part company with Erik ten Hag. So we're talking about Ineos, the minority owners, Jim Ratcliffe, Chief Executive Omar Barada, Dave Brailsford, also the Glazer family. They all decided unanimously that Erik ten Hag needed to go now. They thought that they gave him time to work within the new structure that has been set up at the club. We all know all the changes that have been made behind the scenes at Manchester United. They felt, okay, let's give Erik ten Hag some time to see if he can work under this structure. But unfortunately, they feel results and performances simply have not been good enough. And for the second season in a row, they made a poor start to the season, and that's why they decided it was time for ten Hag to go.
From your understanding, was this the decision that was reached during that lengthy meeting between the club's hierarchy in London during the last international break, that they had come to a conclusion that ultimately, whether they made the decision then or later, he was not the right man for the job moving forwards? That
was a 6-hour meeting in Knightsbridge at Ineos's offices. All the key senior people at United were at that meeting. They weren't just talking about Erik ten Hag at that meeting, but obviously they talked a lot about the club's poor start to the season. I'm not sure if the decision was made at that meeting because they decided to stick with him. But I think after that meeting, they did start putting out feelers again to see if they could find somebody to replace Erik ten Hag. I thought it was very, very telling. A week ago, Erik ten Hag came out in a news conference and accused the media basically of lying.
Fairy tales and lies.
He said we were writing fairy tales and lies. Well, I don't want to say I told you so to Erik ten Hag because I think he was under a lot of pressure. But what people have been reporting has been accurate. Everyone's known that United have been looking for someone else. Now you've got to look at the future. Who could they go for? Gareth Southgate has said, I don't want to work again until the summer. Ruben Amorim at Sporting would cost a lot of money to buy him out of his contract. Thomas Frank, somebody they've met and talked to a lot. Xavi, who's out of work at the moment. Of course, everyone knows what he did at Barcelona. I'm being told, apparently, somebody here was telling me that yesterday Xavi's wife posted a picture on social media of her son wearing a Manchester United kit. So read into that what you will. But United have made it clear that Ruud van Nistelrooy is only an interim. They're looking for somebody to replace ten Hag on a full-time basis.
Well, we'll come into candidates maybe a little bit later on the hour. There's a lot to unpack from the decision and the timing, Stephen and Sue, as to why now. I mentioned